0FXB. We've got our jumbo hotspot. We've got our Kenwood D74 in DR mode. Let's configure the hotspot. This one's come with an SD card that has the image already loaded, but we need to get our Wi-Fi details on there. So let's take this SD card out, get it in the computer, and then let's use the computer to find and configure our jumbo hotspot on D-Star 7.3. Okay, so we've got the SD card in our laptop, and we've gone to sort of my computer or this computer, and we can find it here, and then it's called, on my computer, it's called boot E. It will be called boot. Now, if it asks you to format it, I would say no, because don't forget we're configuring a jumbo spot that has the software on it. You bought it, it has the SD card in it already with all the image on it. You're just adding your Wi-Fi details. So go to this page here, which is pistar.uk, and go down to Wi-Fi Builder. So it's Pistar Tools, and then it's called Wi-Fi Builder. And I don't let that confuse you. It just means it's creating a file that we're going to put in the SD card that will connect it to your, just like your phone does, with your username and password for your broadband router at home, and making sure that any computer that you're using is also using that same username and password, so you're all on the same network. So let's just make one up here for now. So let's just say you're at home, your username is my home, just for example, and then you click password. You could put in, again, you could put my hotspot. Yeah, but it could be anything. And when you click submit, like so, click submit, and here on the left, you've got WPA supplicant, and it probably won't have a number after it. It's just I have made a few. So all you do is just click the arrow, select show in folder, and I would literally right click that, copy it, then go back to boot E, select boot E, and then just in this list, just above it, I would right click and I'll paste. Now if you go to the very bottom now, you will see that it now says WPA supplicant, and that means that it is now ready to go into your jumbo spot. And then what we're going to show you next is that we're going to put the SD card in the jumbo spot. Then we're going to turn it on, and you're going to see how we can then find the jumbo spot using our an IP address, or the other one is to use pistar.local, and I'll show you exactly how to do that next. Okay, we've got our SD card here, and we're going to plug it into the slot here. It just slips in. It's that way round. Just push it in like so, and it's in. And then what we're going to do now it's in, we're going to add some power. So it's just a usual micro USB. You want it to be 1 amp, I would say, at least, really. So just plug that into the power like so. There you go, and it will all start flashing away, as you can see, but you won't get anything on the screen yet. We're going to now go over to back to your computer, and I'll show you how to find this jumbo spot. Right, so we're back at the laptop, and now to find it, we're going to type in and copy this exactly, lowercase, put pi-star.local, and then a slash. And see the way it's gone blue already here? I'm going to select that, and because my Windows 10 is finding it already. So, but this is the pistar.local slash is what you need. If you want, you can put in HTTP in front, but you shouldn't need to. And then when you click it, you'll come up with this window, no mode defined, and then it will ask you for a password. So if it doesn't ask for the password straight away, it's done it now. Now the password is pi-star like that, with a gap in there. Then Raspberry, R-A-S-P, all lowercase, E-R-R-Y. And then click sign in. So you now have basically connected to your Jumbo hotspot. Now you won't see any changes on the Jumbo hotspot yet, because you haven't told it what to do yet. So this is now you just telling it what frequencies you're going to use, who you are, and what you're gonna transmit on. So you don't have to change the host name. See the settings here at the top. You don't need to touch them for a simplex Jumbo spot. So just here, just get your call sign in, like so. So for me, it's M0FXB, and the frequency that I use, but you can use whichever one you like within the band plan. .550 is what I use. There you go. I'm not going to put a location now, so you don't worry about any of this. And then keep going. Yeah, you don't have to change anything yet. So once you've got it the same as I've got it, but with your call sign, actually I'll do capitals for my call sign. M0FXB. Then just apply those changes. Now it does take a couple of minutes, so we'll let them apply. So as it boots, you'll get this sort of window here. So next part is to come into, you're on this window here, go scroll to the top. Oh yeah, just click OK if it does that again. Go to the top and you want to select, we're doing D-Star, so select D-Star here. And then see this, if you've just got a normal Jumbo hotspot with a little blue TV screen, like the one in the video, just select here OLED type 3. Ignore, keep this at Devotee AMAO, ignore the G4KLX for now. And then this is really important, scroll down and see that on the heading is general configuration. See where it says radio modem type. You're now selecting the Jumbo spot that you've got. So just drop that down and select the one that I select, which is this one here. STM32DVM Mmdvm HCS-Raspberry Pi Hat GPO. Select that. Now sometimes you've got to do this a couple of times, but if we're lucky, we won't have to. Now we're going to click apply changes, and what's going to happen now, we're going to go over, when it's applied, we're going to go over to the Jumbo spot, and you'll see that the TV screen starts working, and it should start receiving some information, but we still have to select which reflector we're going to go on. So let's apply changes now. Give that a minute. Okay, that's good, and I'll show you the hotspot in a sec, but as soon as I did that, the TV screen has come to life, and it actually announced that it was connected to Reflector 30 Charlie, only because my radio is already configured to that. And in the next part of the video, I'll show you how to configure the ID51. So just going to show you the settings here again. D-Star, OLED, and you've got that section there. Frequency, the radio modem here. And it's by default, it's under the, so you go at the top, scroll down to the one that says D-Star configuration, and you want to remember this, that it says M0FXB, then with a B letter, and here there's a G letter, because that's what we're going to be putting into our ID51. We don't need a remote password at the moment. So, and then look, see the way it says here reflector 1, and then you've got a C, well you don't have to select that. You can select all these different ones, reflectors and DCS and all sorts, but we'll leave it on 1C because that's the popular one, just to show you it working. Right, let's move. Let's take you over to the Jumbo hotspot, show you that, then we'll configure the radio, and then we'll give it a test. What it looks like when it's working, it says D-Star, it's got my call sign, you know, when I key it's got the IP address that we're on, it says CQ. So that's, right now that's a fully working Jumbo hotspot. So now let's just configure the radio, getting the right frequencies into DR mode, and then we'll go on and maybe just give it an audio test after that. M0FXB Andreas UK. M0FXB, we're going to see if we can add my hotspot to this Icom 705. So the first thing we'll do is come out of DR mode by pressing the call button here. Hit the menu. Then we've got DV memory. Then repeater list. Then we're going to choose where we want to either add a hotspot or edit. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to United Kingdom. Now we've got all these, different hotspots in the CIV memory already. So what I could do is hold anyone down. Doesn't really matter which one. And instead of clicking edit, we'll click add. But we could edit an existing one, but then it's the same procedure. So we'll click add. Sometimes you'll get a thing saying that the memory is full, but not in this case. So look, the first one is DV repeater. That's correct for a hotspot or a repeater. I'm going to name this one. I've got 3 Pistar hotspots, so we're going to call this Hotspot 3. Enter, and then the subname, you can choose what you like. I'm going to put Pistar home. Oh, I think that's enough. Right, Pistar. Okay, enter. Call sign's important, so M0FXB, and then it's space, and then a lot of the time you would put B, but when you've got more than one hotspot, you've got to use a different letter. So I've used P in the past, I've used H. I'm going to try K today. I think that one will be all right. Click enter. Go down to the next. It automatically puts in the word G for gateway for you. The group's already been named, but you can rename groups, but we're in the United Kingdom group. Use, and I always select yes. Now the frequency will be the frequency of your hotspot. So on this particular hotspot, it's 431.550. Enter. Plus or minus shift doesn't really matter, but you do need to have, because it's a hotspot, you need a 0 shift. If it was a repeater, a local repeater, you'd put a shift in. Enter. Position, approximate, and then I should know the position, but I don't, so we're just going to put 56. But if you put the right position, then when you do a search, longitude and latitude, it will find your hotspot as the nearest hotspot. So hopefully if everything's right, we can hit add right. Yeah, so it's put it in there now, which is good. So now the next thing is to test. So come back out. So here we are. Now we'll go back into DR mode. Hit the from one at the bottom. Now if I had put in the the longitude latitude, we could have done a repeater search by hitting and say near repeater DV1, hit it, and then look, the GPS is invalid, so it's probably not even got a lock. But anyway, look, it's found them here, look, and it would come in this list. But there's another way of doing it. Go back. What I do sometimes, if I've already used the hotspot, I go to TX history, DV, and look, it lists the ones you've already used, and then to transmit, you just hit one of them and it puts it in the from section. Because we've never used it, we can't do that at the moment, so we're going to have to go back to repeater list, find the UK, and then look for where it is. We called it Hotspot. There it is, M0FXB. Now it's DV Mega, that's a different one. So we're looking for Hotspot 3. Pistar Hotspot 3. So select that and look, it's put it in the section here. So my Pistar is already connected to Reflector 30. So if you're just transmitting, you keep the top half as use reflector. But if you want to change reflectors, hit use, and then go reflector, and you can click to link reflector. Link reflector. You can choose ones you've transmitted to in the past. Direct. You can choose one here with direct input, where you can type in the one you want. Look, and you've even got DCS, XLX, which is very cool that you can do that. Reflector. We'll go 30 again. Set, and look, we key the mic. We are already connected, but so it hasn't made the connecting noise. But what we could do, let's unlink and then link. So we'll go hit link, reflector, unlink, and then we'll key the mic. Hopefully that's unlinked us. SWR is a bit high. Yeah, it seems like we might already be on it. So let's try linked. Reflector. Link to reflector. Set. Let's try link to reflector. Seems like we're linked. Should we put a call out? Reflector. Use reflector. Mike 0 Fox X-Ray Bravo calling on Reflector 30 for a contact. Anyway, it doesn't seem to be there. But you can see how we've added our hotspot now. What we'll do is, see the big knob here? As you turn it, look, you can actually change the use reflector, link reflector, even a echo test, as you can see. So use reflector is the one it's on most of the time. And if we hit the from section, look, we can actually scroll through all the different pre-memories. So if you've got them all together, your 3 hotspots next to each other, you can just flick between them almost like channels. So I hope this helps you enter your hotspot. It's also a handy way of, you know, connecting to the different, if you do a, let's go back, it's quite nifty, TX history. Yeah, there's everyone, there's a TX history, and look, it's got me there using the OpenSmart 3, and I do need to check to make sure that the letter K is okay. But you can change that, you can edit. Hope this helps. M0FXB.
The greatest. It's a really terrific radio, a beginner radio, and that's the first radio that I bought. And so I'm looking for something a little bit better as far as contesting goes. I'm also going to maybe rent a better antenna. I'm looking at the Yaesu FTDX 101 MP for the radio, and maybe a Cushcraft R9 vertical for the antenna. So I'm currently redoing my shack as far as all the grounding and stuff like that. Using some good copper grounding buses and things like that. And at that point, I will, once I get that all set up, I'll move, maybe try to buy the Yaesu radio and hook up the antenna. This is KJ7FGG. Back to you.
That sounds like a really, really nice setup. I just got this 4100. I'm going to be getting a 5100. I'm going to put this in my vehicle. use the 5100 as a base. The screen on this one's very small. It's hard to read as a base station to me anyway, so I'm hoping the other one will be much easier to read.
Kevin, I have an ID 5100. It's in my van. That's a nice radio. One suggestion when you're mounting it, make sure that it more points toward the U. I find that if it's kind of pointed, I would say, let's say it's straight out from the dash, and so you're looking at it from an angle, it kind of the display kind of washes out a little bit. So if you can get it so it's kicking a little bit more towards you, it reads really great in high light conditions. Other than I really like the radio. I have that in my van, and then I have a Yaesu FTM 400 DX, I think, in my Jeep. Both really nice radios, and I think you're going to like that 5100. Back to you.
Yeah, I've heard a couple of issues after I ordered it on the screen. I guess if it gets real hot or something, I guess they're saying it's hard to read. But I did look at that Yaesu. However, I like using the D-Star, so I figured I'd stick with the Icom.
Heat issues I've heard can be a problem. I've never run into that. I mounted it a little bit lower in the dash, so it's not on top of the dash, so it doesn't get blasted by the sun and the heat issues. So it's worked flawlessly for me. The biggest thing is I had to cock it a little bit closer, angle-wise, so that when I'm driving, I can look at it directly on, and then the screen is perfectly readable. Back to you.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that, because I was a little concerned about it after I ordered it. I think what I'm probably going to do is put the 4100 in my vehicle and keep the 5100